यहाँ पे कुछ और भी करना पड़ेगा हमें। शॉर्ट वीडियो लैग होता है तो फोन में आ रहा है आपके? Hello everyone. So I welcome all of you to Daily Answer Writing and Mentorship Program, second edition of the DAMP session that we are organizing right after the first edition that we launched on 4th of January. So why have we held this live webinar? The purpose of the live webinar is to ensure that people get to understand few basic things before they start their preparation for the mains examination, specifically sociology I'm talking about here. We tend to collect sources from or books from different sources. We tend to collate different kind of materials. Okay, but in the whole pursuit or in the whole journey of collecting material, we forget that at the end of the day, we have to memorize it as well, and we have to make sure that we are able to reproduce the same thing within a given time limit. That is, generally, I believe that for a 10-mark question, the time limit is 8 minutes that is given to you, out of which 1 mark is, you can safely consider that it is gone in the process of thinking itself. Eventually, you are left with 7 minutes only in which you have to write the answer, conclusion, and proper structure. And for the 20-mark question, you are given approximately 12 minutes. So, without wasting your time, I would simply jump to the main issue. The main issue is that we, in the whole process of collecting material, do not give importance to writing. And writing is what is going to determine which of you are going to get or which of you are going to make it to the final examination or make it to the top list. And this program, that is DAMP, Daily Answer Writing and Mentorship Program, is specifically aimed at addressing this specific loophole that students more often than not ignore in their preparation, that is writing. And it is also a kind of phobia. Generally, we call it scriptophobia. We think that, okay, one fine day I'll write the best answer that I can think of. Okay, but we do not really get enough time to write that so-called best answer. Okay, and we think that, okay, we can add more thinkers here, we can add more dimensions here, but we do not write, we only think. So the DAM program is specifically made to ensure whatever you have thought so far in your preparation, whatever you have imagined, whatever you have read so far, are you able to put all that into practice? Are you able to write everything that you have studied so far in the given time limit in the competitive environment? And the DAM program, I'll simply, to those students who are not really aware of DAM, the vision of DAM, the vision is very much clear. Every day, we are going to release one question syllabus by that will be done according to the syllabus, and the syllabus or the whole schedule of that same thing has already been uploaded on the website. So those of you who are not aware of DAM can simply log into levelupies.com and check DAM sociology program. You will come across the schedule that is uploaded, and accordingly you can prepare for the examination. Okay. So every day we are going to release one question, and you will have to write answer to that question by 8 p.m. on the same day. And on the same day, your copies will be evaluated, model answer will be given to you, and discussion video will be released to you. Okay, on the same day. So instead of procrastinating, instead of delaying the whole process, we are here to ensure that you are completing the syllabus within 2 months. Since we have only 80 days, the gap between prelims and mains this time around is very less, that is 80 days. So we have to ensure that the program is very targeted. So the program will run for 2 months. The first month will be dedicated to paper 1. The second month will be dedicated to paper 2. In 1 month, you will be finishing off your paper 1. Every day you will be given one question, and we will consecutively we will be covering all the aspect of the syllabus. And other than the question that is going to be evaluated, one more question will be given to you. That will be homework question. That will not be evaluated, but that will definitely be discussed in the class itself. So let me reiterate whatever I have said so far. Every day at 12 a.m. midnight, one question will be released along with one homework question. You will have full day. In case if you are working, you will have full day to write the answer to that question and upload the same on the portal. The portal will be open to all those people who have registered with Level of IAS. Okay. And this program is launching tomorrow itself. Tomorrow is the first day of this program, and tomorrow itself the first question will be released. Okay. So first question definitely will be from the first chapter, that is Origin of Sociology, part A and part B. Okay. And this way, other than daily answer, we will also have on the alternate weekends mini test. And mini test will cover all those units that you have covered in daily answer practice. Okay. So all in all, in 2 months, we are going to have 45 plus daily questions, 2 mini tests, and 4 mini tests and 2 full length tests. By the end of the month, you will have full length test as well. Okay. So this is the whole vision of the program. Now, secondly, current affairs. The current affairs which are relevant to sociology. More often than not, people read current affairs from Hindu, Indian Express, but somehow they are not able to link whatever they have read with sociological theories, perspectives, or some school of thought. This is the area where they are struggling. People are flooded with current affairs. Flooded. In one day, they are given 10 current affairs to read, but they are not able to imagine or to think how do we apply sociological theories to those issues. Like, for example, in yesterday's paper itself, in Hindustan Times, there was one very important issue that was covered by that editor. It was all about the trinity of 3 P's: poverty, patriarchy, and pandemic. How these 3 P's, when they intersect with each other, how the intersection of these 3 P's, poverty, patriarchy, and pandemic, determine the life chances of a girl child, and how these three, under the influence of these three forces, the child marriage rate amongst the girl has increased after the pandemic. So it is not the sole, the pandemic is not the sole factor responsible for the child marriage, for the emergence, for the re-emergence of the child marriage among the girl child, which somehow we had managed to control before pandemic. But other than pandemic, it is patriarchy and poverty as well, which is equally responsible. Okay, so what kind of sociological theories we can apply here? How we can talk about Heidi Hartman's theory of the relationship between patriarchy and capitalism or poverty? How we can introduce Nancy Hartsock's idea of circuit of capital, how women is exchanged or bargained in the marriage market, in exchange of the security and sustenance of the family amongst the, specifically amongst the lower working class families. Okay, how all these things can be imagined, how these perspectives can be applied is something that we are striving to work on. And this is why we have also made one Telegram group where every day articles will be shared, but along with articles, the most important thing, the perspective, that we can use, the perspectives that emerge from those articles will be discussed as well. And I will encourage everyone to be equally participative in that Telegram group. I would not want that Telegram group to replicate the model of classroom where teacher is speaking continuously and students are simply like a passive recipient of knowledge, sitting blindly and listening to whatever the teacher is speaking. I would want everyone to be participative in that whole Telegram group. And this way, you will also not be losing touch with the current affair. And this is something that will definitely help you in your daily answer uh, questions as well, daily questions that will be given to you. Okay, somehow you will get the idea how we can use that current affair that uh, we are sharing, and how those current affairs can be linked to the questions that we are asking to you. Okay, this will somehow help you to integrate the knowledge that you are gathering through current affair and the static part that we are giving to you every day. Okay, so this is what the whole philosophy of DAMP is. Okay, so now without wasting any further time, I would like you guys to ask me any sort of questions that you may be having. Okay, then we can definitely proceed because I don't want to make it another lecture. Okay, so let's keep it very short and sweet. Whosoever may be having any kind of questions may simply ask their queries. Okay. I'm not able to understand how are we going to get access to the questions that you are asking. Just a Okay. Whosoever may be having any kind of doubt can also ask their questions on the YouTube comment section. I think there is a live chat window. Here you can ask your questions because I'm not able to access the Zoom wala link because I'm not so uh, tech savvy. Okay, to go to Zoom and to see the questions that you are asking there. So it's better if you, instead of asking your questions on Zoom, it's better you ask your questions on the YouTube section itself, live chat. That will be easier for me because this is something that I can easily see, but I cannot see the Zoom session. Okay. I see. It's better if you guys can make your presence felt, because I'm not able to see how many people are there and how many questions are being posed by those people. So it's better if you can simply write in the comment box, the live chat, if you have any kind of questions. So I would like to address those questions here before we exit the live session, because the session was supposed to be very small. So I would like to quickly address all the kind of queries that you may be having regarding your preparation in sociology, whether it is related to current affair, whether it is related to theoretical part, whether it is related to sources. You can simply ask your queries. Okay, before I exit the Zoom session, so I would like to just have a small interaction with you guys. Okay. 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 Meanwhile you guys can prepare your question. I'll simply address three basic core areas that students often struggle with. Okay. First thing that I'm going to discuss is the sources. Okay. This is one of the major area that students are struggling with. What are the sources that we should be referring for our preparation? So let me tell you, if you have seen previous 3 year papers of sociology, previous 3 year papers of sociology, you will understand that they have started asking questions directly from Ritzer, George Ritzer, that is a book on sociological thinkers by publication called as Tata McGraw-Hill, TMH, George Ritzer, Sociological Theory. So, like for example, most of you must have read Robert Merton's idea of, just to give you an example, you must have read Robert Merton's idea of manifest and latent function. That is very easy, but they did not ask this question directly. They asked one question, that how do you differentiate between the unanticipated consequences and latent function? So manifest function is the anticipated consequences, but they are asking the difference between unanticipated consequence and latent function. So people who did not read Ritzer, they got confused. So that how we tackle such questions. That because we have read manifest function, latent function, dysfunction, social dysfunction, and non-functions, but here the examiner is asking unanticipated consequences and latent function, the difference between these two. So just to tell them that latent function is one of the component of the unanticipated consequences. The other two component being social dysfunctions and non-functions. Okay. Similarly, UPSC has asked this year question how Merton's philosophy is very much derived from Malinowski's idea of manifest, because Merton introduced manifest and latent idea, the concept of manifest and latent, only after having gone through the work of Malinowski on the Trobrianders. The manifest function of that ring exchange. See, the ring was exchanged among the islanders. That was simply a manifest. Okay, the ring is being exchanged. This is something that is visible to everyone, even to an outsider, if you talk about ethic perspective. But the emic perspective, the insider perspective would be how the exchange of ring is actually the latent function, is actually unintentionally creating a kind of solidarity or integrative ties among those people who are exchanging that ring. So it is creating a feeling of community among those people. Those people who may be situated far away from each other due to the distances between different islands, but somehow the distance that separates them actually gets very minimized when you start understanding the latent function of this ring exchange process, that despite being geographically located at a distant places, we are still very much integrated with each other. So this was a latent function. So Robert Merton simply borrowed the idea of manifest latent from the writings of Malinowski. So, and if you talk about paper one specifically, just I was saying, reading Ritzer has become must, especially for those students who must have relied on different books. I would like simply to tell them to read the standard books, because The other books are not going to help you because all the other books are actually made from the original text, that is Ritzer. So it's better if you start reading the Ritzer, the original book itself. Okay. And thinkers and certification part, both together would cover approximately 160 marks out of 250, directly and indirectly in both ways. Okay. So it's better if we cover these two units and make notes of these two units properly. Okay. Because the amount of time that you are going to invest in these two units, you will automatically see a uh, large amount of return that you will be getting once you made notes of these two units specifically. Okay, not any, you do not need to make note of any other unit, because these two units in itself make approximately 160 marks worth weightage out of 250 marks in paper one. And when it comes to paper two, I would simply tell all the students that the section A and B is very static part. Okay, that can be read from IGNOU itself. But when it comes to section C, it is the section C of paper two. It is very much about current affairs. So if you are thorough with current affairs, if you know what's going on, and not just what's going on, but if you also understand the sociological idea behind those issues, how do you apply sociological perspective to those? If you have proper understanding of those things as well, then you will definitely ace the paper two, because this year itself UPSC asked three questions specifically. In fact, more than three questions in paper two, specifically section C, uh, which were very much current oriented. Like for example, COVID-19, how it had a consequence on the migration pattern. Okay, and this was very much in news all throughout year. Reverse migration, circulatory migration, neo bondage, forced labor, all these things are very much discussed even by a scholar like Jan Bremen. So the idea of circular migration specifically. So these things were very much in the news and were very much predictable, and I had shared all those articles as well in my Telegram groups. Secondly, the UPSC asked one question this year on how new education policy 2020 can address the inequalities that we have in our society. This is also something that, in relation to which I had shared approximately 5 or 6 articles, and I had also given a lecture specifically in the test series that we organized here. So those things were very much predictable. Section C is very, very predictable. Okay, so if you have a proper grip on the current issues, and not just current issues, but also have proper grip on the sociological perspectives that can be applied to those current issues, then you will definitely ace paper two. And for that, you have to keep in touch with what's going on in current affairs, because sociological perspective is something that you cannot get by reading the book. It is something that emerges from the text. It is something there. You have to think like a sociologist, in the sense you have to have a sociological imagination. Okay, so if you are able to, look around the structural arrangements, the pattern that we have, any kind of external force that is acting on those patterns, and what kind of changes are being introduced in those patterns, if you are able to think like that, then you have that imagination. And this imagination is something that you have to keep yourself in touch with, otherwise you will lose the hold of this imagination. So that is why, and that is why, to write the answer daily, to keep yourself in loop of the daily answer writing, will definitely help you in not just remembering those facts and concepts, but also understanding the application of those scholars that you have read in your traditional textbooks. Okay, so now, instead of giving you any further lecture, I would simply like to see if you have any questions related to the program. Otherwise, we can safely exit the session, and I'll be waiting for you guys to write your first answer tomorrow. So this is something that I also have to look into. So I'll quickly see if you guys have any question related to the program, and then we can proceed with the other discussions. Okay, so I think the question, I don't know why I'm not able to see any question. Very strange. People do not have any questions. As seems they know everything now. Where is that Zoom session? Okay. Okay, so just one final detail. The rest detail of the program you can easily find in www.levelupis.com. Okay, just simply log into that website and you will get to know all the details of the program. Okay, www.levelupis.com. You can simply check in there, and you can see all the details related to the DAMP sociology program that we are launching tomorrow. Okay, rest of the details can be accessed once you simply call at our office. Just give a call at Level Up IS, and we will try to address all those all those issues individually in case you may be having any sort of issue. Okay, so I think with this we can safely exit our Zoom session now. Okay. Okay. Thank you. looking